Good morning, good afternoon, good evening. Welcome back to our show. I am Drew, Option Forward, other half of the show. GQ Nesto, how you doing today?
I'm doing good. Ready to get the ball rolling. I think we got a cool guest today, so looking forward to get some insights. So yeah.
All right. And you know, I was working on my little introduction for our guest today. So let me see if I can get it right. All right. So we got Queens, New York. Queens get the money. Very own. He's multiple hat guy. We got the producer side. We got the director side. We got the award winning. There is nothing in the entertainment film industry that he don't know how to do or that he hasn't done. Well, we'll get to that. I don't know. But ladies and gentlemen, we would like to welcome to the show Mr. Joe Eckardt. How you doing today?
Good. Thanks for having me. Appreciate it.
Thank you for being here. So I know you dibbled and dabbled a little bit of reality series, a lot of documentaries. Give our listeners and viewers a little bit of backstory. Who is Joe?
Kid from Queens.
Let's go with the origin story. Where did the superpowers come from?
Let's see. Started off as a production assistant out in New York, running around on just a bunch of different movie and TV sets out there, learning the business. Didn't go to film school. I hung out with every department and figured out, how do you do your job? Teach me. And they would teach me, and I would do the same thing. And then I ran around the city making my own stuff, making my own shorts, slowly meeting people, and it ended up getting me out to LA back in '98, first time.
How many years were you messing around with it in New York?
2
before
years.
You transitioned?
96 I started. 95, 96.
Okay.
A movie called The Devil's Own with Harrison Ford and Brad Pitt. I was a PA on that set. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
How did that happen? Just a hustle?
Well, no, I have family in the business in New York. Two, Louis and Jimmy Sabat, who are the best sound team ever to grace the sets in New York. They old school. So hey, my nephew's looking for a job. Can you help him out? I'm like, yeah, we'd look for someone to help, on set to do anything. Cool, bring him in,
And the PA is, for those who don't know?
The PA is the blood on the set. They're the one that get everything done. Without PAs, sets won't happen. They just don't. They don't flow. They don't stay on time. They're the guys that keep everything work hard to keep everything on schedule, get something from point A to point B. Like they're the people that make it happen. So.
All right, cool.
And they're the least paid, but the hardest working. Okay,
so you the knocking on the trailer dude back then. Like, hey, we need you on set. Yeah, let's go. Break time up. Let's go. We need you.
Let's go. We need you here. Oh, hey, Joe, can you get us coffee? Yeah, what do you need? Cream and sugar? You got it. Go get it.
But what about the film industry? Like where did the spark come from? Is it something that 10-year-old Joe always knew that he was going to be doing? What did you originally want to do?
Play baseball. That was
okay.
Me. Yeah. And
okay.
I was too short and that wasn't going to happen. So I said, all right. And then I was like,
I'm there with you. It's good.
At what point did you know you're like, oh shit, this is it. This is it on the growth spurt?
Yeah. Well, right in high school, I guess I'm done with this.
Yeah.
It's time to do something else. So I just wanted to do like graphic design, and I was going to Baruch College in Manhattan for graphic design. I was bored. I didn't know what I wanted to do, and I actually dropped out, and then my uncle got me a job on the set. And I always visited him on sets growing up, but it was always like very mystical and huge. I never thought about working in the industry until he got me the job just to get a paycheck, right? So I wasn't bumming around the house.
Nice.
And then I loved it. I was like, wow, this is actually pretty dope. I think I can do this for a long time. And slowly just started growing and attaching myself, like I said, to all different departments and figuring out how to do this, how to do that. And then figuring out that I want to direct.
So because we've been at this for some time now, and we've noticed that when it comes to communication of asking the how-tos, like you said, so you were able to bounce around from department. Did you notice that people were hush-hush? Like, yo, it's like job security. If I tell you what I do, then... So people were pretty open with you?
Yeah, I never had that kind of issue. Like I had tons of people always helping teach me.
Was it the whole New York spirit that, everybody's out there pretty cool and just, aggressive? Like, people are not in competition. They're just basically just trying to just be a family in a sense.
Yeah.
I get that sense of New York vibes where it's more of a like, fuck it, just do it, just come through, you know.
Yeah, it's about just getting it done, you know, and everybody always lends a hand. I mean, it's definitely in New York. I don't want to piss off my LA friends, but it's definitely a more of a family atmosphere out in New York.
Now, do you think it was luck that landed you in all these since the beginning, or you really think that the hustle reflected the outcome of like your success in all these different projects?
Well, it wasn't luck that I got hired first, right? Because my uncles got me the job, but there's only so much they can do to get me in, right? I had to perform,
right,
and I keep myself in, and I was able to 26 years now keep myself in the game, you know, and pay the bills every week, you know, support the family and all that, you know.
So thinking about it, transitioning New York, LA, did you already have something lined up when you got here, or you put on ground and he was like, man, I still need to figure this shit out?
No, yeah, I was actually working for Nicolas Cage when I moved out here. I was his on-set assistant on a bunch of films. So we came out to do a film called Gone in 60 Seconds.
Actually, like we don't know what that is.
I forgot from in '98. Actually, we did 8mm first. That's actually what first brought me here. But I didn't stay. I came here, did the movie, went back to Queens, and then came out to do Gone in 60 Seconds, and then decided to stay.
Did you get in Eleanor?
Yeah, of course.
Yeah.
Yes, I got a picture somewhere on my Facebook. Yeah.
Dope. So how was that experience working with Nicolas Cage? Was you starstruck? Was he like something that you like kind of not under the table, but like you knew that you were going to be working with him, or did it just happen by chance?
It happened by chance because I wasn't starstruck. I'll tell you that story. So we were doing Snake Eyes down in Atlantic City, and we're shooting a casino. You can imagine all those people trying to, you know, hang out and meet Nicolas Cage and Face Off and Con Air, right? And so they had a bunch of us PAs just like surrounding him on set while he sat in his chair, rehearsing so that people would leave him alone. All the other PAs were that day weren't the regular guys. They were just day players. They were kissing his ass. Oh, I love Jim Face Off, bro. I love you. You're so good at Con Air. And he's just getting annoyed. And he sees me just standing there keeping people away. And he's like, well, how come you're not kissing my ass like these guys are? It's like, because they didn't tell me to do that. I'm going to ask them if they want me to do that, but I'm just supposed to keep people away.
What's up?
Yeah, that's literally what happened. And he's like, all right, cool. You want to come finish the film with us in Montreal?
You think that was that New York mentality? Because, you know, like I would think, well, I would say people think that New York people are rude. You just don't give a shit. Like
they might not be wrong, but no, I think I've only been starstruck once, and that was when I met Al Pacino.
Okay,
that was it.
Tell us that story. Come on, you can just drop that and just leave it there.
I met Al Pacino at an event at Paramount. Paramount had a thing called Paramount's like 90th birthday, and they had like 90 stars for 90 years. And I used to also work for Cuba Gooding Jr. as his assistant. And while there, and Cuba knew I was a big fan of Al, and he was sitting right at the next table next to us, as close as that camera. So I was like, I kept staring. I was like, I got to meet this guy. So Cuba's like, come on, let's go. We went over to him, and he whispered something into Al's ear, and Al got up and turned around. He's like, hey, nice to meet you, Joe. And I'm sitting there like, I don't know what to say to this guy. And he's trying his hardest to get me to talk, and I was just like giving him 2-word answers.
You start talking like Scarface.
Okay, man.
Okay. I mean, did that come out right?
I did good, right? So yeah.
So we'll get into what you're doing currently, but I'm very interested in the whole start to finish. I'm just doing a little bit of like deep diving on exactly what you've been involved with. If you feel like talking about that, your 2005, I think it was, you got the award for the documentary you did. Was it Champion?
For Champion, the Yamaha Award.
Yeah. So talk about that.
Yeah, so I was doing this documentary a long time ago, 2003 or 4, called Yo Soy, where we, you know, it's hard making in this business, right? So as a Latino, well, how hard is it for a Latino to do it? And, you know, it's hard enough to do it if you're living in LA, but what's it like doing it from Venezuela, right? So we got all these different celebrities to come together, all Latinos, to sit there and we were going to do a roundtable with them and talk about, they can each talk to each other about their story, what their obstacles were to get here and how they got here. While we were doing the individual interviews with everybody, we were doing one with Danny Trejo, who I had met when I worked for Val Kilmer on a movie called The Salton Sea, and Danny was in it. So sitting there interviewing Danny for his interview and realizing his story, I was blown away. was like, this guy needs a documentary just on him, forget everybody else. So we pivoted, and I moved on to doing Champion with Danny, doing basically following him around, learning his story. You know, brought him up to San Quentin prison, put him back in his old cell, and told his story. You know?
Nice.
Like, did you ever feel like, I wouldn't say intimidated, but felt like this shit needs to be perfect?
No, it's never going to be perfect.
No.
I mean, if you look online to reviews, some people thought it was the best movie they've ever seen, and some people thought Danny needs to have me killed. Like literally, people saying like so you can't make everybody happy. You know?
So it was just more like let's just create it. Let's just roll with the flow.
Let's roll with the flow, create it with what we have, the resources we have, the story that we think needs to be told, and see what happens.
So currently you Netflix, right? You working with them maybe a little bit, right?
Yeah.
Would it be selling the OC?
Selling Sunset, selling the OC, selling Tampa.
How did that happen? And how did that happen?
How you
land that? How did you land that gig?
I was working on another Netflix show back in 2018 called Tidying Up with Marie Kondo. And it was my last day on the show. And someone from Netflix called me and said, hey, I know you're done today on Marie Kondo. Do you have anything else lined up? I was like, I don't. And he's like, well, there's a job opening on this other show. We have a new show, season 1 called Selling Sunset. You know, it's a short gig. Can you jump in? Sure, no problem. So I jumped in. That was in 2018 for season 1. We're now doing season 6 and 7 of that show. And in the middle of all that, you know, the company also had Selling Tampa, which aired last year, and then Selling the OC, which just aired a few weeks ago. Mm-hmm. But yeah.
Now is reality television really reality?
Yeah. Sure is.
Y'all don't be
at least ours is. Yeah.
You don't be egging them on like, hey, you know, if you walk by her and like you just slap her a little bit on the face or something like that, we can get some content, get some good stuff. Like y'all don't egg them on or anything like that, or make suggestions.
Nope, they don't do that.
In your opinion, would you rather be working on reality or doing like documentaries, like docuseries?
I want to do my narrative movies again.
Okay.
I didn't set out to do documentaries. I just did it because Danny's was such an amazing story. So I had to do it, but I made a romantic comedy called Other Plans with Jamie Kennedy. I did a family superhero movie called Pizza Man with Frankie Muniz, Diamond Dallas Page, Roddy Piper, Shelley Long, Courtney Burnson, tons of people.
Shit.
Yeah.
Damn.
So, go ahead. Was I gonna cut you off?
So you've had all these wonderful, empowering opportunities, right? You don't seem starstruck, you know what I mean? You're just cold, you know what I mean? So what is it, something aside from, what you just said, what is something that you're looking forward to as far as, you want to say like at the end of my career, I want to do what?
The end of my career, I just want to keep making movies.
Okay.
My own movies, right? Like when I do Selling Sunset, that's someone else's show that I'm working on and dedicating committing my work to. And I love it. But I want to make my own narrative films.
Okay. Yeah. Is there anything specific in mind that you're cooking right now? I mean, obviously, I'm pretty sure you're gonna go out with the bang. So what is it, something that you're cooking right now?
I'm trying to get this motorcycle movie going called I Ride Alone that I've been fighting hard to make for over a decade. But it's
you ride?
I don't. I used to. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. I just started writing. I don't write either.
Oh, okay.
But I've been trying to make this for a long time, and I've had so many people involved, over the years, in the project. I mean, we have Peter Fonda attached at one point before he passed. But having Peter Fonda in a motorcycle movie is like getting Pope to sign your Bible, right? So, I don't know. But the man, he passed away, so we had to move on. But I want to get that going. That's the one. That's my one passion project.
But what type of bikes are we talking about though? Like, we talking street, or are we talking about Harleys?
We're talking about Harleys, with old school Harleys. We're talking about like Ducatis together.
All together,
yes.
In the same movie.
The same movie.
You're gonna make that happen.
I'm gonna make that happen. That's what I'm trying to do.
Okay, you need a PA for that?
Yeah.
But when it comes down, like, cause we Nessa and I, we have dreams of our own and things like that, branching outside of the podcast. But we've always been like, well, where does the funding come from? You know what I'm saying? When you don't have it. So can you share some light for people who are interested in doing things but like, just equipment in itself is so expensive. So what would you suggest, or what was your method of navigating that? I don't know. I'm not getting in your business. You know what I'm saying? But like, where does the money? How we get the money to make our project?
I'm not getting into business. We're doing a podcast. The money's the hard part. That's why it's been taking me over a decade to get this thing going. Like, it's just, everybody claims to, know somebody who's got the money, but when at the end of the day, they never come through with the money, right? The bank is always empty, the account. I've had many people already promise to do to invest in the film, but then always back out. Because they're just, they're looking to meet the celebrity, they're looking for another connection, how to, very, what do they call them? Opportunistic, right? So they're using their own resources, but they're not being really honest about it at the end of the day. The films I have made, the Pizza Man movie I did with Frankie Muniz, that one was, I have another uncle that worked with this guy who's a pharmaceutical billionaire and wanted to make a movie. Right, something for him and his kids to watch, and he had an idea for a film called Pizza Man, and then had a writer write it, and then contacted me and said, how much would it cost to make this film? And then I budgeted it out, scheduled it, and he said, all right, you're funded. And then he did it for fun because he wanted to. When you have $1 billion, you can do that for fun.
You can pretty much do that.
Do whatever you want for fun.
So obviously you don't like the flakiness, and I think nobody does. But like, what are some things that we're on a very completely small, different spectrum compared to, the experiences you had. But what is something that you find it just annoying in the industry that you're just like, man, if this shit wouldn't happen, things would be getting done. Probably better movies would be made. I mean, what is it? Something that
egos,
right?
People's egos get in the way, and it stops a lot of progress from happening. Like,
shit,
literally, people just.
So it's not even about the money. It's just about somebody just. My dick is bigger than yours. Type of shit.
Yeah.
Damn.
Yeah. If we didn't have that, so many more movies being made.
Because you see now, like nowadays, I mean, before I would be juiced about a movie coming out on Friday. Now you're just like, Top Gun, that one was cool. You know what I mean? I didn't expect that one, especially because I didn't even see the first one. I saw the second one, and because I don't really like Tom Cruise, I was just like, man,
wait a minute, man.
Huh?
Hey, be careful what you say.
Well, my bad, Scientology. but
I'm not a Tom Cruise guy either.
But I was just like, he's kind of whack as far as like, he's not no 300. You know what I mean? He doesn't get you inspired. But then that movie, I don't know if it was the effects or it was a nice theater that I went to, but it was just dope. Like it was just. You seem in tune, and I don't think. I think the last time I felt like that was like Fast and the Furious. You know what I mean? Like that you felt like the first one.
I was about to say when they became superheroes.
No, I'm not talking about Tokyo Drift. No, but like back then, like you even like get out the parking lot and you start like picking up your emergency exit, trying to drift and shit. Like it was a dope feeling. Like, but now I just feel like it's just like whatever. Like let me just wait till it comes out.
Right.
So I just think that like, I don't know. I just feel like it makes sense. The ego.
There's too many executives now too. Like there's just, 15 executives looking at a script and giving notes and taking the complete life out of that story, and just to make it what they think would sell. Right. They don't care about the story, they care about what sells.
So how do you deal with the dude with the ego, the people that are just busting your balls and just preventing progress from your,
Depends how in control they are. That's why I like to make the movie myself, get it funded myself, make it myself, and then I go and sell it. Because now it's done. I didn't get that guy's input because I don't need it.
Damn.
The best if you have the ability, is to control the content as much as you can. That's it. Make it yourself.
Okay, so like you said, it's more beneficial for you when you make it yourself. You fund it yourself. How does that process work as far as you selling it to a Amazon Prime or selling it to a Netflix? How do you even get those meetings? Like, hey, I got a project and I would like to use your platform. So what is that process?
Well, getting the meetings is the hard part, right? So I'm friends with Malik Yoba, right, from New York Undercover and all the Cool Runnings. And
this guy.
He's my buddy, right? So I used to be PA on New York Undercover. That's why I met him back in 1996 or 7, whatever when we did that, back in Manhattan. But he told me, and to this day I will never forget it, he told me, Joe, Hollywood used to be who you know. It's not that. It's who knows you and who gives a shit about you. And he's right, because everybody knows everybody in this town, right? You go to Hollywood and everyone, oh, I know Steven Spielberg. Like, okay, well, does he know you though? Like, does he care about you? You know, that's great. That
Do you go to his house?
Yeah, great. You served him his sandwich, but does he really know you?
You gave him a cigar?
Yeah.
Yeah. All right.
Yeah, dreams of grandeur, right? These people, right? So, but he's right. So you have to figure out those relationships and really protect them, and don't just give them to everybody, and make that call to, hey, listen, I got this project and I really want to see if we can get it on Netflix and see if we can get that meeting, you know?
So financially, how does it work as far as, are the percentages, how much you receive, or is there like a royalty based thing? Every time it's watched, I'm getting this amount. Like, how does that work? Break that down.
Yeah, I mean, there's two ways to do it, right? So if Netflix is funding it, then you're going to deal with the executive stuff. You're going to deal with all the different people with their jobs and putting their notes in, and they're highly involved in the process, right? But if I go and make it now, I'm just going to license it now to Netflix and say, all right, listen, I got this film and it's called I Write Alone and I want to get it on the platform. They'll make me an offer. If they're interested, they'll make an offer. Hey, all right, we'll give you X amount, you know, upfront minimum guarantee, you know, $50,000 up front, and then depending on the views, you get percentages. You know, so there's different models it can go under.
And is this lifetime, or like as long as it's on a platform, you getting a check?
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah, but you know, usually they'll buy it for 5 years or 10 years, or you know, you get a term attached to it.
Okay. What's the biggest check you ever seen, Joe?
Oh, I don't know.
Oh,
He's being too modest. He's being too modest.
I don't know.
No. Okay.
Yeah.
What would you say? What was your biggest purchase?
My biggest purchase? What do you think, on a movie or just in general?
No, not in general.
Oh gosh, I don't know, man. My house? I don't know.
Okay.
Yeah.
Not the yacht.
Not the guy that I don't have. Yeah.
Top 5 movies.
Top 5. All right. Let's see. Field of Dreams.
Oh, nice.
Godfather.
Definitely.
Goodfellas.
I was just gonna say that
Goodfellas.
shit. I was like, he better say Goodfellas. That's crazy.
Most memorable character in that movie.
And Goodfellas was Leota. Yeah.
You think they?
Yeah.
Okay.
Who was yours?
I'm gonna have to say that was Joe Pesci.
Oh, interesting.
Yeah,
I like Joe.
I'm gonna have to go with Joe. I'm gonna have to Joe. You know, I gotta represent for the small guys. You know what I'm saying? But nah, yeah, definitely. So
my other two are, you know, little. I don't want to say like not everyone else's top 5s. Life, Eddie Murphy,
Martin Lawrence. Okay,
love that movie, and Grosse Point Blank, John Cusack.
I do remember that.
And Minnie Driver. Yeah, it was amazing. I love it. I can watch it all day.
So what, if you could, what movie would you have been a part of the production? Like your dream, like, man, I would love to have attached myself to that one right there.
Rocky. God, my top 5, I just said.
Right.
Those. Yeah.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah.
So what actor, actress, or who would you say has pushed you? Because you know a lot of people, Joe, right? So who do you think has pushed you creatively? Like Joe, you can do this, and you're probably like calling like how we talk to each other. Like, dude, I'm quitting. Like, no more. Let's just be done with this. And then you get that phone call. Hey, man, keep going, keep pushing.
Yeah. There's only one guy. When I worked with him at the time, hasn't been since, but it was Nicolas Cage when I worked with him. Because I was making a lot of short films at that time. And I would run it by him. Hey, man, what do you think of this? And what do you think of that scene? And he'd give me his 2 cents and, you know, just straight up like, Joe, that's stupid. What are you doing? And he was cool about it. He wasn't like being fake. It was, oh, it's awesome. It's great. And then, you know, talking shit behind my back. Like, welcome in Hollywood, right? So he wasn't doing that. And so I learned a lot from him. I got to watch how he did his stuff and parlay that into my own work.
Are you guys still cool today?
I haven't talked to him in 15 years, maybe 10 years.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
Okay, so you're the cigar guy now.
I'm the cigar guy. Exactly. Yeah. He knows me though.
Shit, but what do you do for fun? Like, I'm pretty sure, like, I mean, everything that you do for a living seems fun, but what the hell do you do for fun if you got nothing else? Like,
I got my family, I got my boys, my wife. Yeah, I got 2 boys.
now are you obligated to say that, or you actually do it?
No. I actually enjoy it. Like, I look forward to the weekends because I pretty much work 12, 15 hours a day during the week. So the weekend is a family time when we get to do excursions, whatever, hang out, and do nothing around the house.
You say you had 2 kids, right?
Yeah, 2 boys.
That's awesome.
Baseball?
Yeah.
Baseball players?
Well, one of them, the older one's not. He's a musician. He's more into playing his guitar and computers and video games. And then the younger one's only going to be 3 next month. But he's like a little linebacker already. Like, he's just into hitting everything. So we're going to.
One of them has to either be a baseball player or like football, right?
I'm going to aim for him to be it. So.
What is all the sets you've been on? Who would you say, or what is the craziest thing you've seen happen on set? You don't got to give names or nothing like that, but what's the craziest? Give me a crazy story, Joe.
I want to say the craziest thing was when we were filming Champion, the documentary on Danny Trejo, and we brought him back to San Quentin, and I'm in there with him, holding the camera, asking questions in his old cell, and all of a sudden I'm looking around and I see the warden showing up with more guards. I'm like, something about to go down? Like, this cell block they're in is all murderers that now who were there. It's like, I actually had to ask the guy who was in his cell, can you step out for a few minutes so Danny can come in? Like, the warden wouldn't even do it. I was like, I got to do it. Okay. Oh, well. Okay, I'll do it.
You signed the waiver.
Yeah. Good luck. So I did, and the guy stepped out, and all of a sudden, all these guards are starting to like pile up, and then I'm like, what's going on? Like, should I be worried right now? And the warden said, well, look around. What do you see? And I was like, I just see a lot of people forming, checking out what's happening. I said, well, here's the problem. You have all the white inmates are coming in, all the Hispanic inmates coming in, all the black inmates are coming, and they're all getting too close and too quick. And I said, well, is that bad? He goes, well, they don't normally get together like that unless something's about to happen. So they were worried that all these guys were about to start fighting and rioting because of whatever is happening, right? Because they're getting too close. And it was only because of Danny. They all wanted to meet Danny.
Nice.
And it's the only time he's like, where we've had these many people come together and not fight, and all for like positivity, just to meet Danny Trejo, So that was actually pretty crazy.
He was just out in Sacramento. I want to say this past week.
What was he doing?
Yeah. They did some kind of like, I don't know, some kind of awards for sobriety.
Oh, right.
Yeah, and he got up and he spoke. It was on the news. I stay out in that area, but yeah. So what you're saying in a nutshell, when you saw everybody coming together, your booty hole got tight.
Pretty much.
Yeah.
What's going on?
But imagine the content you would have created. Like, you know what I mean? You would have been like Spider-Man, just holding the camera and just trying to, run out of that shit. That's pretty dope.
Yeah.
Okay, so that's an on-set experience. How long have you been married before I ask this question? It ain't nothing crazy like
13
that.
years
13
now.
years. So before the marriage, I know the Hollywood parties. Right?
Oh.
What's the craziest thing you seen at a party?
Everything you can probably think of.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's like that.
It's like that.
Playboy Mansion.
I've never been there.
No?
Never been there. But
That's crazy. That's crazy. Okay, so because man, I'm just interested in what you do. That's actually what I wanted to do. That's what I thought I was going to be doing. Like, you wanted to play baseball. I wanted to be, but with that, but with that, like I think it's like, okay, I guess you have multiple hats as a executive producer, more of a accountant and budgeting, making sure everything, or project management.
Yeah,
in a sense,
the boring part.
But what actually does it entail? What exactly are you involved with as the executive producer? Because like sometimes I look at, when I'm watching films, I always watch the credits pretty much all the time to see who, like, oh really? Like, I think Margaret Robbie attached herself to some movie I just saw, and I was like, what the heck? That don't even sound like anything she would be interested in. But so I don't know if, you just attaching your name. That's why I asked you, like, how does the royalties and the payouts, I throw my name on there, I'm getting something. But what exactly is your job, like your job description as an executive producer?
depends on the show I'm on. Like for Selling Sunset, I work in the post-production department, right?
Okay.
So I'm not involved in the creative on set. That's not me. We have other executives that deal with that. So my job in post is to ensure that we get the show through the pipeline and deliver it up on the Netflix dashboard and get it through, quality control and everything that help make our main executive producer's vision happen as best we can with, Yeah.
Nice. And because I know you do your own editing and stuff like that as well. So being in the game, for over 20 years now, technology is constantly evolving. Do you find yourself having to kind of reteach yourself certain things or adapt? Like has that been a challenge for you?
Yeah, the last 10 years, the industry has drastically changed, with digital, everything's digital, right? So from the cameras you're using, it's all digital to delivering, you're never actually touching anything anymore. Like you used to, with film, I remember Big Queens used to shoot 8mm film and be sitting there cutting it and taping it and playing it on a projector to see if the edit worked or not. You don't do that, right? Everything is all digital, but the technology is growing so crazy that if you don't keep up with it, it's going to be real hard to make anything. Unless you have, enough money to hire a staff to hire the guy that knows what to do,
See, I was telling him that with IG, we're like old ass dudes. I'm like, bro, hey, you need to get updated with that shit. I mean, it's crazy. It's like we're freaking being outdated. You know what I mean? Like, I'm talking about me and him, but yeah, we get into these arguments. We're like, bro, what the hell? Like,
yeah,
it's crazy. If obviously things would have never came out the way they did, is there another specific career you would have taken aside from this?
Nothing comes to mind.
No? Like you didn't want to be be the next narco. You didn't want to do anything.
No.
You didn't want to do nothing crazy aside from or you just
I just fell in love with this business and after 2 years of college. So that's how long I've been doing this.
But in high school, you didn't have another.
Want to play baseball?
I want to play ball, yeah.
So baseball, that's it.
That was
You're
it.
just
no plan B.
Damn.
So I guess that is true, right? They say your plan B is your plan A.
Yeah.
There is no variation.
I didn't even have a plan B. I needed a job. So
damn.
My uncle got me a job making $500-$600 a week, just helping people on set.
That's dope.
Yeah.
In your opinion, what do you think is the most important action a person can take to reach their level of success or their definition of success?
Just to work hard.
Work hard?
Yeah, I mean, I find that there's a lot of entitlement these days with the new generation of crew coming on board films and TV shows. There's a lot of entitlement. These kids don't want to put the work in, to earn your stripes, to get up there.
That instant success.
They want instant success. Right? Everything's at the IG world, right? Everybody click it, you got instantly. It doesn't work that way. You gotta work hard.
Yeah, that shit's hard. That's just I mean, it requires some sort of patience. You gotta have thick skin. I mean,
yeah.
So are you taking your work home with you, or how do you turn it off? Because like you said, I think you mentioned you're working 12, 15-hour days.
Well, I work from home now, so
true.
Work is home. I have an office at the house, and it's just loaded with post-production gear, and working. It's hard for me to turn it off. It's just hard for me not to work.
Shit. So what actually drives you, the artistic side or the money?
I want to say both. Yeah, depends on the show, but sometimes it's just the money. I'm just doing it for the paycheck, but I want to say the last 4 years working at Done and Done Productions, it's been about the show, and just the massive impact it's had on pop culture and the fans, and just love producing the content with these guys.
Sure.
Yeah. Would you recommend some 17, 18-year-old person to follow your career path? Not exactly what you did, but some people say, oh, I want to be a model. And then a model would be little girl, that's probably not what you want to do. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So being in it, would you highly recommend that to somebody go after?
Well, it's funny. My older son's 13, and he gets attracted to the stuff we're doing, and wants to help. I'm like, yeah, no, you're gonna be a doctor. Like, don't even come near what I do. Just go be a doctor and make a lot of money. You know? Yeah.
And do you find it like, I know, I don't know. I guess it's all about a budgeting thing, even like what you make annually, because you don't know when your next job is going to come out. You know, I don't know if you just keep stuff. Do you find it kind of agitating, or have you ever like been worried? Like, dang, babe, I know I was doing good last month, but this month we might be a little short.
Yeah, it happens all the time.
So what's important? How do you maintain that? I mean, do you have somebody helping you with your finances? You got an accountant, or
you just got to be smart with your money. Okay. I'm freelance, right? So I go from show to show to show. So when this season of Selling Sunset wraps and we're done, I'm looking for another show, right? I've been blessed to work with this company that keeps rolling me over from show to show to show within the company. So I haven't had to look for anything in a little bit. But there will be a time when I'm going to have to do that. So, but you have to just have enough stored away to pay your bill until you get that next job.
And how long do you see yourself doing this?
Till I die.
Yeah.
I'm out, man. That's all I know. 26 years now into it. So I'm like, I'm 47, so I'm gonna do this until I retire. And
what you think that age would be?
48? No.
He said 2 years from now.
I got about 2 hours. I'm retiring. So,
that's funny.
Oh man, I don't know. I honestly don't know.
Hey, but the real question is, New York or California?
New York, all the way.
Really?
Yeah, I'm here because there's more opportunity for me. But yeah.
You weren't sold on California?
No.
Their pizza sucks. Huh?
Pizza sucks.
Yeah.
The weather's good. That's about it. Yeah.
Damn.
But even we had clouds today. I was telling them, I'm like, wow, look, we actually had cloud coverage today. Like, I feel like we can feel the seasons happening.
Yeah, all in one day. It seems like this weekend.
It's actually raining earlier. It was crazy.
Yeah, I mean it's crazy because a lot of people. It's a hard decision. New York and California. I mean, it's the battle of the coast, right? That's crazy.
Yeah.
If you had let me get two good ones. Okay, so if you had Quentin Tarantino called you Monday, it's like, Joe, I got this movie I'm working on. I want you to be a part of it. You say, let me think about it. You hang up the phone. Next phone call, Guy Ritchie. Joe, I want you to be a part of this film, but I need an answer in the next hour. Who are you working with and why?
I would work with Guy, right? I would tell him right on the spot.
Yeah?
Yeah. I don't like Quentin. Makes good movies, but he's an asshole. So, yeah.
Have you met him?
I met him once.
And I'm
sure
done deal.
Done deal for him. I'm good. I'm good not knowing you. Yeah, I'm good. Yeah.
And I mean,
and I'm sure if he just got out to him and he's like, somebody's talking smack about you, and he'd probably be like, who, Joe who? Like, probably because he doesn't know any idea who I am. But that also goes to why he's an asshole. So, yeah.
It's attached.
Yes.
Now, did you ever find it hard being a Latino and being in this industry and like, being like discriminated in some sort of like, throughout the process of like your whole career? I mean,
no.
It was just, are you more, because Joe, you wouldn't really, like, people wouldn't really say like, oh, no. He's Latino.
No, I don't look Latino. My name is Jose. My real name on my birth certificate, right? But
like, yeah, that's dope. That's dope. Because do you see that? Obviously, I think diversity is huge, especially in the entertainment industry. So, like, have you witnessed that? Like, is that something that like you're like, shit? Sometimes it's kind of an uneven playing field.
I don't know if I've witnessed it per se. I like to think that I surround myself with people that wouldn't do that, So the companies I have worked at, like I have not, at least it's not apparent that that's happening. Not to say it's not happening. It happens all the time, I'm sure, every day. And it's horrible. But I haven't personally witnessed it. At least off the top of my head, I can't remember anything that would jump out as that. Yeah.
Have you ever, if you reflect back and think on the time, has there ever been a time where you wanted to just pack it up? Like, I'm out of here, I'm going back to New York.
Yes.
Okay, so, and then if you identify that time, what kept you going? How did you recenter yourself? How did you reestablish your goals? What was your process?
For me, when those times happen, it's usually when I'm having a hard time dealing with whatever company I'm working with. and just can't deal anymore with the ridiculousness, right? And it's like, I'm done. This is like egos and just people making decisions just because it's not good for the show, but good for them personally, right? You know, ultimately, you got to look what's good for the show, the movie, whatever you're working on. That's what the goal is. That's what the common goal needs to be. But they don't do that here. And you just deal with these people that are just making, you know, decisions based on what's good for them or the people they want to protect, right? So it's like, fuck it, I'm out. Like, I'm done. I can't do it. And I've quit shows because of that. Because I'm like, I can't. We don't have common goal right now. The common goal of making this show is not, you know, the public opinion. It's more like, oh, you got upset because I called someone out. I'm doing something and that's your buddy and now you're pissed off at me. Like, all right, that's cool. So I go, and that's when I go and have to take a break for a minute, you know, not too long, and I'll go look for another show somewhere else with people who have, you know,
common interests.
Yeah, better ethical values and common interests to get a better show out the door, you know.
What was your most, I would say, to date, most memorable time or show that you worked on?
The Sopranos. I was a PA on The Sopranos, on the pilot, and then it was in 1998. We did the pilot. And we didn't know what we were doing, right? It was just a mafia show. And then I came out west to do 8mm with Nicolas Cage, which is also starring James Gandolfini. I was also in that. So that was a total coincidence. I get there and Jim's like, Joe, what are you doing here? I was like, oh, I'm actually Nick's assistant. So I got to hang out with Jim the whole time we were filming that. I was actually with Jim when the show got greenlit, when he got the call. We were on set. And he's like, Joe, we got green light. He's like freaking out. I'm like, what do you mean? What does that mean? He's like, we're gonna do a season 1 of Sopranos. Like, it was amazing. So, and then he got me on season 1 of it. And then I did most of season 1, and then I came back to work with Nick.
Nice.
But that was the best. That was the hardest show to date that I worked on.
Hardest.
But it was worth it.
What made it so hard? What was the challenges?
The hours. It was all on location. You know, working like 18, 20 hours a day in Jersey. Like, it was just brutal. But the crew was amazing. Producers are amazing. The cast was great. I mean, it was just, everyone's a big family. You know.
That's dope. So I see that's very important to you, that family kind of cohesive environment.
Yeah.
What was the worst show? If you can share that information.
The worst show was a show I did a few years ago that I can't name the name of it.
Oh, come on, Joe.
But yeah, because
what was the show about, Joe?
Yeah. About going on vacation.
Going on vacation?
Yeah, there was just a terrible group of people working there.
Was that when you was like, yo, I called him out,
Yes.
now you mad?
Yes.
So I'm out.
Yes.
2 fingers up.
Yeah, I'm out. Peace out.
Queens get the money. You know? All right.
Yeah.
You wake up in the morning, you listen to music?
Yeah, I listen to everything. Hip hop,
Who's in your playlist? Who's in your playlist right now?
I was listening to Mark Anthony on the way down here.
Mark Anthony on the way
Shit.
down here.
Yeah.
Bumping. All right.
In tune.
Yeah. Yeah.
You're in your
Right?
office. You're in your office.
Always.
Yeah, no. So you're in your office. You got a deadline to meet, right?
Okay.
Maybe about 5 hours left. 5 hours left on something that you know will probably take 8 to 10. Who you got to throw on to get you motivated, get you pumped?
Wow, yeah.
Yeah. Who we listening to, Joe?
Depends. Sometimes I'll throw on just loop a shuffle Eminem.
Okay.
Just throw that on. I like to listen to the actual vinyl, so I'll throw them on the vinyl on the record and start spinning and just start doing my thing. Billy Joel as well, from Queens, right? You gotta love Billy Joel. Mark Anthony, or I'll just put like salsa channel on and just listen to salsa. Or I'll put the TV on because I like to put stuff in the background. Just I'm not really paying attention to it. It's just there, and I hear it, and then kind of pick it up every once in a while.
Yeah.
And I'll put on the King of Queens on, and that just have the seasons just rolling through when I'm working.
All right. And what's your creative process? Are you inspired or motivated maybe by something that you're dealing with personally, something that you may have seen happen at a restaurant, something that you've seen on television? What sparks? What normally, if you had to really think about it, what has like sparked like, oh man, I want to do this. I want to make this project based on.
Oh, yeah. There are times when I hear a song and I'll listen to the story and I'm like, oh, that would be a good movie. that we can somehow take those lyrics and turn that into a movie script, you know, and that's, yeah.
Now, is that shit sober or like with a blunt or a whiskey or a good beer?
A good drinking me, probably.
Okay.
Yeah.
I mentioned, you were mentioning earlier about this beer. Put his own game on that.
Cerveza Aguila, Colombian beer from Barranquilla that my dad got me hooked on when I was a kid, you know. My whole family.
It's exclusive.
I was about to say, where did we even find something like that?
There was one place 5 minutes from here that I went to before I got here, and they didn't have it. I was bummed. They always had it. Otherwise, you get it at Colombian restaurants.
I forgot it's an app that they got now. I want to say it's like Dryers or something like that, but you're supposed to be able to get anything exquisite on it. I'll give it to you.
Oh, I want to see that.
But yeah, anything you want, but you're going to pay. You're going to pay. But all right, so we got the beer. What else do you like doing, okay, in your pastime? What else do you find joyful outside of spending time with your family, your kids, working on projects that are meaningful for you? Like, what else do you do? What's your escape?
Baseball. Watching baseball.
Watching?
Yeah.
Yankees?
Yeah. Come on.
No, I was just asking.
I'm just saying.
We don't use that hate speech here.
Okay.
We are in LA.
I'm a Mets fan.
Okay.
Oh,
Yeah.
wow, that's amazing.
Yeah. Well, the amazing Mets.
Yeah. All right.
Yeah.
Favorite player?
I'm sorry?
Favorite player all time? Baseball.
That's a good question. It's fun. I used to be a huge fan of Will Clark. He played first base for the San Francisco Giants back in the 90s. And then I met him. And then I
he turned you off too? Like,
yeah.
He Quentin Tarantino you?
So I was working at Shea Stadium in high school. And I knew the Giants are coming to town. I was like, so I go to baseball. I was like, I got to meet this guy. Right? And I was a first baseman too. So I was looked up to this guy as a ball player. And I saw him walking by the locker rooms. And I ran up to him. I said, can I have your autograph? And he looks down and he's like, yeah, sure. And he keeps walking. So I'm walking with him. But he never tried to get the ball from me to actually sign it and grab the pen. I was like, let me ask him again. It's like, can I have your autograph? He's like, yeah, no problem. So I'm like, what am I missing? Because he's not stopping. He's not trying to get the ball from me. So then finally I was like, well, don't you need the ball to take it to do it? And he stops and looks at me and goes, and he says, kid, if you don't ask me the right way, you don't get jack shit from me.
What was the right way to do it?
And I just stopped and I was like,
Like, fuck this guy.
I just said, it's like, never mind, you're not that good anyway. And I turned around and I walked away and stood there. He just stood there like staring at me.
Emotional damage.
Yeah,
I know that stung.
Yeah, that's stung. And then I walked over and I was pissed. And then Gary Carter, catcher for the Mets, walked up and he put his arm on my shoulder and was like, don't worry, kid, no one likes that guy. He's an asshole. Yeah. And then Will came up, grabbed the ball, and signed it.
Dang, nice.
Yeah.
If you had a superpower, what would it be and why?
Somebody just asked me that last week.
Yeah? So you should be prepared. What you got? What we rolling with?
My superpower. I think it's to basically be strong, unbreakable.
Okay.
Like physically or mentally?
Yeah, that's why I was like, Joe, what are we going deep with this? With mentally?
It could be mental. I was thinking more physically. Yeah.
Why? Why unbreakable? Are you like a jackass? Like not jackass.
Yeah, I know. Like what's his name?
Johnny Knoxville.
Johnny Knoxville.
Yeah. Are you doing things
no,
like
I
that
don't
in
do
your
stuff
spare
like that.
time?
No,
What's going on?
No. Mentally, my company name is Unbreakable Post, and I have been through a lot in my life, and I've seen the other side of it every single time, and I feel like it just makes me unbreakable. There's nothing that's gonna happen to me where I'm finally gonna break.
You gotta be a Spartan. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
You gotta be a Spartan. Moving. I mean, shit. I mean, if you don't do it, then, the world's going to go with or without you. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
That's crazy. So do you think that that's the reason why I'm getting the impression that you're just a nice asshole. Like, you know what I mean? Like, you're just nice, but you're an asshole. Yeah. Is it because of all the things you've been through, or is it just more like that's just how your personality is of how to deal with bullshit and just surviving?
I think it's a combination of both.
Okay.
And not having patience for stupid people that just, the entitlement. Whatever, man. You do you. 1 + 1 is 5. You got it. That's exactly what it is. Have fun.
That's dope.
Yeah.
That's dope. You have to, right?
Yeah. You just can't get caught up in it. You just got to keep going. And I think a lot of it too is with not putting up with the bullshit is, being a celebrity assistant for so long that I got to meet different personalities of people, and you learn how to deal with that.
You see their true value, right?
Colors, yeah.
Colors, yeah. I mean,
yeah.
That's dope though, because like you could literally walk through. I mean, who can say I met Al Pacino and like be able to walk through without being starstruck? I mean, I think that's pretty gangster right there. That's some like New York like mob shit right there. That's cool.
Like, yo, Al, I liked you, man. I liked you.
What was that project
again? You know what I'm saying? All right. Hey, anyways, man, I'll see you later. Good seeing you. You know what I'm saying? Like,
you just can't get caught up in it,
And that's the hardest part, right?
Yeah, it is.
And that's great leading into that. So how do you? I know that's pretty much your personality, but how do you not get caught up in all the hype with all the things that you've done? Like, you know what I'm saying? You could have walked up in here, today, like, yo, y'all don't even got my champagne out. Like, what,
you guys are fucking late.
Yeah, I'm out of here. Like, how do you?
Well, that's the
how do you maintain
entitlement.
that balance?
That's the entitlement that I don't feel like I have. Like, I'm not expecting anything from anybody.
Respect.
Just respect. That's it. Simple respect. Yeah.
Dope.
That's gangster.
But also, like, I worked with somebody who I can't name, but he is a fucking diva.
What did he look like?
An actor.
What movie?
He was in a movie called Snow Dogs. And
oh, snaps. Okay.
yeah, so that movie had a lot of actors in it. So
Yeah, a lot of actors.
But this guy was just, just egotistical and entitled and he's a diva, and you just can't. I see that, I'm like, why does he think acting like that's okay? Like behaving like that and cheating other people, that's not cool. So
Well,
I see that and I don't do it.
Yeah, well, somebody somewhere like didn't check him.
Right.
You always got to have a checker. Like, that's my checker. He checks me. I check him. You have to have that. You know what I'm saying? Whether you're successful or not. Like, if somebody ain't pulling your coattails, then this behavior or this pattern of behavior that you're doing, you just think it's okay.
Right.
And like you said, like, who told this guy?
Yeah. Like, that's not okay.
Give me a name of somebody you checked. You was like, hey man, I get you grow so many millions, but hey, bro, hey, don't talk to me like that. You talk to me like that. Hey.
So I did a movie called Sleepers with Brad Pitt and Robert De Niro.
All right.
And De Niro had a hard time with paparazzi during that movie. And he got into some argument with some paparazzi. So we was sitting at some cafe somewhere in the city. And the next day, he was just in a bad mood, right? So we had all these paparazzi on set trying to take photos of him to antagonize more of what happened the night before, right? Which is fucked up that they did all that to him. All right, whatever. So we're outside of his trailer, keeping people away, just trying to help get him to and from set. And he was just being a dick to everybody, to all the PAs. And we're just trying to help the man. Like, we're literally here to help you, right? And he was and after like 10 hours of it, I finally couldn't. I just broke. I was like, you know what? Fuck you. At least Pacino has class. And I turned around and walked away. And then all of a sudden I hear on the walkie-talkie, Joe, where are you? It was my boss. I'm like, I'm walking over to Extras Holding, where we keep all the extras and stuff, right? And he's like, all right, meet me there. So I go there and meet him. And he's like, look, what the fuck did you say to Bob? I was like, I know. I just couldn't hold my tongue. I'm an idiot. I'm fired, right? He's, well, yeah, he wants you fired, but we're not going to fire you. Just stay in Extras Holding. Don't go near Australia anymore. He'll think you're gone. All right. So then fast forward to 1999 or 2000, I was working for Cuba Gooding Jr. as his assistant, right? And he was doing
Boat Trip.
I did Boat Trip, yeah.
Hmm.
He did. We were there. Did a movie called Navy Diver. What did it call it? Men of Honor.
Men of Honor.
Yeah, when they made it, it was called Navy Diver, right? So he did Men of Honor with De Niro, and we went to do a screening of it with just De Niro and Cuba and the director. The director wanted to show it to him. I was like, fuck, I hope De Niro doesn't recognize me. Like, I was tripping, right? I was like, I didn't want that to happen. And Cuba, I told Cuba the story. So Cuba, of course, antagonized it when we got there.
There he is. He is.
So De Niro was very polite and sweet. Hey, I'm Bob De Niro. I was like, hey, And De Niro goes, nice to meet you. And Cuba goes, no, you've met him before.
Oh, it's not.
Cuba, stop. He's like, oh yeah, we've met. He's like, yeah. I was like, yeah, we did a movie. I was a PA on a set back then, a movie called Sleepers. And then he's like, oh, that's great. I remember that movie. Yeah. And kid was like, don't you remember what happened?
Wow, asshole move.
And then I was like, wait, are you? I was like, yes, that was me. You know, I was young and dumb. Sorry, you know, whatever. You know. He's like, no, I was an asshole. I was an asshole. You know, and then he hugged it out and he was fine. But you know, it went the opposite that Cuba thought it was gonna go. He thought it was gonna get me in trouble.
That's supposed to be the homie. Look at the homie throwing you under the bus, man. That's crazy. Hey, but we're coming to the end, the conclusion of our show. What I like to always do is open up the microphones for parting words, insight, information you want to share with the viewers and the listeners. And it would be an honor and a pleasure today to have Mr. Joe Eckardt. Anything you would like to share with the viewers and the listeners? Any parting words?
Man, I mean, I'm not too
some tools,
too deep. I mean, I just hope anything I said helps somebody. But just you know, you just got to work hard. So, you know, you're not entitled to anything. Just keep working hard, and eventually you'll have your level of success. That whatever however you measure your success, you'll get it. You know, that's it.
Dope. Words from Joe. GQ Nesto.
Shit, man. I don't know. I've been doing a lot of soul searching, but you know, one of the things that some of the stuff that I was reading is find yourself a role model. You know what I mean? Find yourself somebody that you could look up to that has proven results. You know what I mean? And then find yourself somebody more fucked up than you and help them. You know what I mean? A combination of both things. It's like it's very empowering. I think that. It's a well balanced where you humble yourself and in all capacities and just just fucking, like he says, work hard. You know what I mean? Just work hard and find ways to be a better person and give. You know what I mean? Just give. Like there's no better gratitude than to just give. You know what I mean? And help each other out, especially with this fucked up world we live in. So
I couldn't say it any better.
Yeah.
All right. But hey, we thank you for tuning in. Make sure you look for us on all social media platforms, Option Forward. I am Drew. We are Option Forward. We thank you for tuning in. We love you. We out. Peace.
what haven't you done, man?
I was like, dude, like, what the fuck? Like, who do we have sitting right here? Like,
Here, come here, guys. Let's get a quick photo.
All right.